Hi, my name is Bishop Gregory Lightner, and this is Pastor Karen Lightner, and we are the host of Is Love Enough? And tonight, today's topic.
Baby. Come on, I know you're tired. Come on, baby.
Today's topic is one that is really good because it's a lie that used to be told when we was younger.
Yes.
That lie is that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. So today's topic is harmful words. Can words actually harm you? And we're joined back with our guest,
reoccurring guest, Evangelist Catherine Trotter. Welcome.
And hello. Before we get started, I guess we want to say a little bit about WYTV7.
Yes, WYTV7.org is a non-profit television station that sponsors shows like ours that help educate, empower, and encourage our communities. Please consider donating by going to WYTV7.org and click the red button and donate now.
Click the red button and donate now. Now, yes, Miss Catherine. Yes. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm so happy to be back. Oh, goodness. Looking forward to tonight.
Yes. Okay, we take note that repeated negative communication of words will push your loved one away, like apologetic words like I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, or I wish I could take it back, or not receive at all. So our big question of the day is love enough to overcome negative impact of hurtful words?
That's a good one. I would like to say this on it. First of all, hurtful words, when we think about it, growing up, we often, we would say hurtful words to our playmates. And, younger, it was easier to overcome those words because, oh, I want to go back and play with my friend. I don't want to be out here by myself. So, okay, I might say you ugly this moment, or I don't like you, or you're not my best friend. That was a killer right there. You're no longer my friend. Yes. and in a few minutes, we'd be like, well, I ain't got nobody else to play with. I'm going to go back and say I'm sorry. And, next thing you know, we're jumping, whatever the case. But as we gotten older and someone says to you, I don't like you, or I just hate being in your presence, or, just looking at you makes me upset. Those words, we don't overcome them as easily as we did when we were younger. So yes, hurtful words do hurt. They linger because now you're thinking in the back of your mind that, oh, they don't like being in my presence, or, oh, they think I'm ugly, or they don't think I present myself well, or whatever the case may be. And that can be very hurtful. It can be very damaging to the relationship. And can love overcome it? If you allow it to. But you have to be strong enough to first overcome it yourself, and do not replay it over and over in your mind. I think it is something that we can overcome, but we have to be able to communicate in the relationship of how we felt, and truly look at the relationship and see it. Is this something I really do want to overcome, or, do I want to just get out of it? What do you think?
Some people communicate or try to encourage people to do better by negative or put downs or slams, slamming the person, being very negative. And for some reason, some people think this is a way to encourage people to do better, right? Their intent is to get you to do something better. But the words that they're saying ends up damaging the person. So you can't get better when you're damaging a person. And sometimes I think we allow people to damage their relationships, and we damage our relationships by saying words that are hurtful and damaging. Because once words have come out of your mouth, you cannot take them back. And I'm a firm believer that words carry power and energy. So the energy that you're expelling those words in, they're going to accomplish what you want them to do. So if you're spewing that words with the energy to hurt, it will most definitely hurt.
Yes. I agree.
Just like the Bible says, the life of power and death is in the power of the tongue.
Yes.
So, I mean, my grandma used to call it growing up, okay, y'all need to control that pink tornado. So we looking like, what is a pink tornado? We was like, that tongue in your mouth. Be careful what y'all say to each other. And that's so true. Because a lot of times growing up, we will always say that about the sticks and stones, and then we'll lick our tongue and shake our head. As a kid, that's something we like brush off. But as an adult, and sometimes it defines, sometimes as an adult, when you hear the words, it sort of defines who you are. And it's not so easily shaped because you just have that notion in your head, I'm not good enough, or I'm not going to be nothing when I grow up. So all of that lingers, so words hurt.
Yes, they do.
Do you think that sometimes children struggle as adults because of words they heard when they were younger?
Oh, most definitely. You know, at one point, I used to be a kindergarten teacher, and I have two beautiful daughters of my own. And then I help, I have, my godson, looking forward to my first grandchild. So as growing up and teaching kindergarten students, they will come in and, we will be teaching them how to write their name or learn their colors or whatever the case may be. We're just beginning, and you would have that kid sitting in the corner. I'll be like, okay, John, why you're not trying to write your word, or why you're not saying your colors? Oh, and they say, well, they make fun of me at the way I talk, or, they poke at me because my S is backwards, or, I write my name upside down and things like that. Or go even deeper, they would say that, well, my mommy always calls me stupid at home because she gets frustrated with me because, why you can't get this, Johnny, ABC, come on, you should be able to identify the A or the B in your name or whatever the case may be. And so they didn't want to try at school. They just rather sit over there. And then, me as a teacher trying to bring that out of them and trying to get them to overcome that. Maybe I can get them to participate, but then at some point they're going to go back and say, oh no, I can't do this, because if every day mommy's tearing me down or my parents are tearing me down, when I come into my classroom for 5 or 6 hours, that's only a short time frame where they're getting that encouragement to try and do. But they spend more time at home, more time with that parent telling them, you're nothing, you're stupid. Why are you being so dumb? Why can't you just get this right? And yes, it hurts. It hurts. Right. And another thing I think about, and that's hard to overcome, because as Pastor Karen said, it plays over and over in our mind, that inner voice. Sometimes we can quiet the outside, but that inner voice, yes, at night, it keeps talking to you when you're doing something else, and they'll come back up and say, oh, you remember when they said this about you, or whatever the case may be. Yes. Quiet that inner voice. That's only something the individual person can do.
Yes. I had a student that I was smiling because the way he used to say it. When he first said it, I thought he was just joking, but he used to say all the time when he used to ask him to do something, he said, no, I can't do that because my dad says I have doo-doo for brains. I'll say it that way. Of course, he said the other word. So I'll be like, no, you don't. And so then one day I asked him to do something, and he was really, really serious this time. He said, Chef, I can't do that because I have doo-doo for brains. And I'm like, no, that's not true. But at that particular point, I was looking in his eyes and saw the expression on his face, and the kid really, really thought that he could not accomplish anything from listening to what his dad and his mom and his family always told him. Right. So I put him on a leadership position to do something, and after it, he was so over the moon and literally had tears in his eyes because he could not believe he accomplished what I told him to do.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Because he needed that positive push to push him in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
A constant letdown, or I can't do this or do that, it damaged them so bad to the point that they believe it.
They believe it.
Yeah.
They believe
Yes.
it.
So they need
Yes.
that push.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I'm thinking about, growing up, I was in speech class, so growing up, from kindergarten on up until high school, probably the 10th grade, I was in speech class, and people will always say to me, "Oh, what did she say?" Or, "Can you repeat that?" Or, "Oh, we can't understand her. She talked funny," or whatever the case may be. And it was only because of my mom, my parents, my siblings
Mm-hmm.
pushing me that,
Mm-hmm.
I learned that, oh, half of my family belong in speech class, so I'm okay with it, And then,
Can't none talk.
and then, I would not allow what other people would say to me to enter, like I said, that inner voice. I did not allow it to keep constantly playing over in my mind. I realized that I went to speech class. They taught me the things that I needed so that when I'm presenting myself or when I'm talking, I'm able to overcome those fears that had played in my mind, that people can't understand me or people are going to ask me to constantly repeat myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the things, like you were saying, Bishop, we give our students, we give our kids the tools that they need so that when they are put in those predicaments or situations, they have what is needed to overcome that situation.
So do you think if you hadn't had the support of your family and your siblings, would you be able to overcome, being picked because you was in speech class and everything? Do you think you would overcome it as good as you do now?
I don't think so. We need that encouragement. We need that foundation that says you're okay. You can arise above this. You're better than this. And you need that in your life, whether it be from a family member, a spouse, or a sibling, whatever the case may be. We all need that encouragement. God created us to be relational, meaning that, we were not created to be an island by ourselves. We were created to be in relation with others. So we need that foundation that pushes us. Would I have gotten there? Maybe, maybe not. But it might have taken me longer to be able to even sit here and do something like this. I'm a leader. I'm a manager. So I'm always constantly thinking of, ways to effectively communicate. I'm always thinking of, okay, Catherine, make sure you slow it down in your mind. So, those skills are always with me and they are always presented in my mind. Now, do I think about sometimes after I presented, I think I might have went a little bit too fast. Maybe I should have slowed down. Of course, that's that inner voice that always talking to you. But I always know I have the foundation that was given to me, to the tools I needed to work through the situation.
Can you talk to about because I heard you talk about the inner voice. So can you talk to the listening audience about overcoming the negative inner voice? Because it's very rare that we hear our positive inner voice. What we normally hear is our negative inner voice telling us why we should not do something, or be careful or this, or reminding us of old words and old hurt that happened to us in the past. So can you talk to us about overcoming that negative inner voice and turning some of that positive?
Well, again, it goes back to you as a person, remembering that words can only play for as long as you would allow it to play in your mind. And you have to be strong enough to just overcome, strong enough to understand that was just a moment. It doesn't mean that that's my lifetime. It doesn't mean that that's going to be with me for always. That's a moment. So I take it just for that, a moment, a minute. That happened. Someone said that, but that doesn't mean that that's my life. That doesn't mean that has to be with me always. And we have to learn to positively encourage ourselves. That's the word I want to positive. Give yourself that feedback. Positively stand in the mirror and say, you are beautiful. You are wonderfully made. You can succeed. You can do this. I got this, whatever it is that will get you through that day. And the more and more you say it, the less and less you'll hear that voice saying, no, you can't, you're stupid, you're whatever. You'll hear that positive. And even when that voice begins to creep up on you, you go back and say, you got this, Catherine, you can do this. This is only a moment. Don't turn it into a lifestyle. Don't turn it into forever. It was just one moment.
Wow, this conversation is going so great. I believe we're helping a lot of people. I'm going to come back when we first come back in and talk a little bit more about overcoming that inner voice, because I think it's going to be really helpful to a lot of our listening audience. We'll be right back after this commercial break on Is Love Enough?
Calling all HBCU alumni, supporters, and golfers. It's that time of year again. Yes, the HBCU Swing Into Their Dreams charity golf tournament on Tuesday, April 5th. If you missed the last one, you have time once again to be epic. Don't miss the golf tournament of the year. The Swing Into Their Dreams HBCU charity golf tournament at the Atlanta National Golf Club in Milton, Georgia, Tuesday, April the 5th. Registration begins now. Sign up your golf teams at swingintotheirdreams.com. That's swingintotheirdreams.com or call 770-686-7148. That's 770-686-7148. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to Is Love Enough? And our topic, we're talking about sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Harmful words. Yes. Words do hurt. And right before the break, we were talking about how to get that inner voice to turn from negative to positive. And I know for myself, being dyslexic, not being a reader, I was 14, and having all the negative connotation came with that. It is a constant, sometimes, battle going to myself, going, okay, you can present this, or you can read this in front of an audience, or and reassuring myself that, okay, that was the past, this is now, you did it before, it worked out well, just do that again. And reminding myself that it can work. Because sometimes we have conversations, we're telling people how to get there, but not, we're telling people what to do, but not how to get there. And I think it's very important in our show that we tell them about how to, like you were saying, stand in the mirror and reinforce to yourself that you are beautiful. You are somebody, that you can get there.
But sometimes looking in the mirror is hard, especially when you see yourself, to actually say, I can do this. Or to give yourself positive words to say. For me, I can say personally, looking in the mirror, just looking at myself, it's hard for me to say, okay, you're beautiful, or you can do this, or you can accomplish this. So it's hard.
It is hard, but it is hard, but it is one of the most powerful things that a person can do is to look at themselves and tell themselves, you can do this. It is more powerful than anybody else saying it to you when you're looking yourself in the eye and saying to yourself, you can do this. You can overcome this.
Yes.
It is one of the most powerful things a person can do. Because you remember a lot of times when we're counseling teens that are in trouble, I will often tell them, go to the mirror, tell yourself, you can do this. And the reason why I do that, because I understand that in our minds, when we're looking at ourselves, and we see ourselves like only we can, without anybody else. All of us see ourselves a certain way. So when we're in a mirror, we're looking at ourselves, seeing ourselves like only we can, and we're telling ourselves, you can do it. It is a powerful reinforcement.
Yes, and then Bishop, not only reinforcing that by looking in the mirror, but also like, okay, getting yourself the tools that you need. So for myself, it was the speech. So going through the speech classes. If you have trouble with public speaking, you could take public speaking classes. If you feel like, hey, maybe my weight is off. You can take weight classes, whatever it is that you need to encourage yourself. You want to do it by looking in the mirror, and then you want to surround yourself with the tools. Again, I'm saying you're laying that foundation to overcome those hurtful words. You know, if you grew up and people, you know, are always saying this negative stuff to you, then you want to look to change your environment to make it more positive also. So you want to get the foundation, you want to encourage yourself, and then if you have to change your environment where positive isn't reinforced more than negativity, then you do that also.
So you're saying you have to put in the work for the success.
Yes, definitely put in the work. This does not happen overnight.
That's so true. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the work. I had to actually put in the work to learn to read. I actually got to put in the work to keep myself looking at words the right way. I have to put in the work. So if you're not putting in the work to change, you're never going to get better. But you yourself have to be motivated to put in the work. Totally agree.
Yeah. What is harmful communication within a marriage?
For me, harmful communication within a marriage is not having that safe environment, you know, where your words, where you're able to express yourself with your spouse or your significant other, and you don't feel like you're attacking them or they're attacking you, and you're actually taking the time to communicate with that person. That means you have gotten the words needed, not words to hurt, but words needed to express how you're feeling. So, you know, I'm not going to go in and say, oh, you know, I'm thinking about money. Oh, you know, you always spending money. You're never saving money. That's why we can't get ahead, because every time I look, you're going out to the store and bringing out bags and all that stuff. That's not effective communication. That's you tearing me down, telling me I'm not a good steward over my money or whatever the case may be. So, you know, you create an environment, sit down with me, show me that, hey, babe, you know what? If you don't go shopping this week and buy so-and-so or eat out this week, look at this. We can save this amount of money because this is how much you spent going out this week eating at lunch. That $30, we can save that, babe, and put that towards our savings account. And, you know, we save that $30 this week, and after a while, we'll have X, Y, and Z. And then, you know what? We can take that trip we've been talking about, or, you know, we can do some upgrades to the house that we've been talking about. But you present it in a way that, hey, I'm not attacked, or you're not tearing me down for what I'm doing. And, you know, and you showing me how we both can have something positive out of this. So yeah, that's, you know, that's what harmful words does. It tears down, and it is not effective communication.
And I believe that it tears down all relationships, not just marriage relationships, but it could be your child, it could be professional relationships. Negative communication or harmful communication can actually break down so many other relationships. And if you're not learning how to have effective communication without negativity or being attacked, because, you know, some people are always on the attack. They're just trained to be on the attack, and doing that pushes people away, and it doesn't get you where you really want to be, because you're attacking the person that you're actually trying to get to do something.
Yes. And I like the way, like, if I have something to say, I don't get like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything because I know he'll tear me down or whatever. So, you know, before we got married, I had this wall up. I would not communicate or nothing like that because of previous situations. So I went into my marriage with this wall, but my husband opened up, present it to me in a way that, okay, babe, if you say what's on your mind, I won't tear you down. So I tried him with, I can't remember this so long ago, but I tried him with something and opened up, and the way his response made me just want to, the wall lowered. So it made me feel open up enough for me to communicate with him. But that was the biggest problem for me, was communicating to him.
Yeah. And, you know, so I think about
but I think if he came back like with a brutal comment, that wall probably would have been higher and higher and higher. But yeah.
I was gonna
You
say
about to
that's
say
good,
something?
Pastor Karen. And I was gonna say too, you know, as Bishop was saying, it's not just marriage, it's about other relationships too. So it made me think about myself as a manager. You know, they're always putting us through leadership classes and things like that to enforce our management skills. And you know, sometimes you have to have those critical conversations with employees about their performance or whatever the case may be. But I don't go into those critical conversations looking to the first thing I'm gonna come out and say, you know, you were supposed to do this and you didn't do this. And, you know, I don't want to hear your excuses. I gave you the instructions, right? I go into those meetings saying, first, I'm gonna lay the foundation about this employee. You know, I'm gonna tell them some of the things they've done good. There's always good, something somebody has done good.
Something
if you
is
look
good,
for it,
right?
you look for it. You know, they might be the worst employee, but at least maybe they showing up every day. Maybe they come back from lunch on time and nobody. I mean, they gotta be
Got a pleasant smile. Yes.
And then you enforce that positive, and then you can slide into, okay, now we need to switch this conversation a little bit and slide into you know, what's going on, you know, what may be the concern at hand, you know, and present them with ways to overcome it. Again, you know, you gotta, if I'm gonna tear down, I'm also gotta build up and present ways to overcome whatever the obstacle may be.
Right. And you know, I remember when I was a young chef and was running my first kitchen, and you know, didn't have very much management skills other than I knew how to run the kitchen and make sure food got out. But people skills were lacking. And so I was quite rough. And then I noticed that my employees' morale and productivity kept going down and down and down. So I had to switch that and say, you know what, man, I know you ain't cooked but one omelet today, but that baby was beautiful. It was so, you know, and try to bring, you know, this is your attitude. Something you got a pleasant, your smile that lights up the kitchen when you come in, you know, and doing that actually built the morale back up, and then I could have more critical conversations. And then I learned how to get the tools to get them there. I think that's very important too, giving people the tools to get them there.
So you set the atmosphere.
Set the atmosphere. Right.
Yeah, we talked about hurtful communication. So we're gonna talk about sarcasm a little bit. Can sarcasm be harmful to your relationship?
Yes, again, it's words. And you know, it can be a look. Sometimes, you know, so I think I've learned how to not say the words to tear someone down, but honey, those looks, those sarcasm looks, God's still working on me on that. Because you know, sometimes it's not also it's not the words that we say, it's the expression that we have on our face, like sitting there lying to me in my face, or you know, just sometimes you looking at that person like they stink or whatever the case may be. So, you know, our facial expression has to match our words, and that's sarcasm. You know, one of the reasons I wanted to do this, can't sticks and stones, words do hurt, was because in my previous marriage, I knew I could not physically fight him, but I knew I could say the words that would tear down his self-esteem, tear down who he was as an individual, tear down him as a man. I wasn't looking to build him up. And then from that, it would lead into a physical altercation because he didn't know how to attack me with the words back. That wasn't his strength. So what his strength was to try to attack me physically, and then that just went all into chaos. So yeah, those words hurt. And one of the things that God showed me was how I used to do that, and how that told that person down, and how I had to repent, not only to God, but also to that person. You know, we're at the point now that, you know what, if we're truly going to live out this Christian walk and be who God created us to be, we have to remember that, you know, as we repent unto God, we have to go back and ask forgiveness to some of those things that we've done in the past too. That sarcasm can be just as hurtful as telling somebody, you know, I hate the way you look today, or whatever the case may be. You know, yes, those words do hurt also. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes sarcasm, like you said, can be more harmful than just negative words, because the person know that your words are negative, even though you're putting them in a positive word, but what you're saying to me is negative. And I have to learn that as well, that because I'm a talker and a communicator, and I use words on a weekly basis for ministry. So I have to learn that I can back you on the corner with words,
Yes, you
and then people will come out swinging because they don't have anything else, because I can back you in the corner with words, and now you stuck because you can't come back because I got you stuck in this corner.
Right. Also work.
So, and wrapping up, would you look into the camera and give our listening audience first, the people who are damaging their relationships, what they can do better, and second, people who are feeling damaged by words, how they can make themselves feel better?
So first, people who are damaging their relationship, again, it's about, is this truly a relationship that you want to be in? And I mean, I feel like, anything that you treasure, you treat the right way. So if this is not a relationship that you are treasuring and treating the right way, then step back and see, do the count up, do the heart, whatever it is that you have to do, and count up the cost, as they used to say, count it up and see if this is something that you really want to be a part of. And if it is, then you start working on, I can't work on the spouse across the table from me until I first recognize that I got to do some work on myself. I can't fix nobody else. I need to start here first, and if I soften my words, if I present my words with love, if I present my words with how I want them to come back to me, then that changes the whole conversation. I often tell people ministry started at the house. So I can't witness to the person on the street who I don't know and not witness and share love and grace, word my mouth words with grace in the house with the person I do know. So it starts with that first. And then with the person who is dealing with hurtful words, again, I go back to reminding them that it's just a moment. Don't make it a lifetime. Don't let it lead into your future. Calm that inner voice, and whatever it is in that area that you're struggling with, find the tools to overcome that. And that would help build your foundation. So you're building that foundation. So the next time that comes up, you be like, as Bishop said, as I had said, as Pastor Karen has said, I've got the tools I need to overcome that. They taught me how to slow down. They taught me how to stand up and present. I know how to be a better steward over money, or whatever the case may be. I'm working on my weight. So things like that. So that's what I would tell everybody.
Listen,
that's what helps.
Our time is up. We would like to thank my sister,
Evangelist Catherine Trotter. Thank you for joining us again.
For being with us on Is Love Enough?